technologies venturing into the market right now, career transitioning will always take you a notch higher. To broaden your horizon on this subject and help you understand various opportunities, may I please invite Ms. Kshama Dhir, EY Strategy and Transactions Leader.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be part of the TechGig Geek Goddess event. I mean, this event sounds too good to me, a Geek Goddess event, and I've always been in love with, geeks in my life, and there are many of them around me. But when it comes to women who are geeks, that definitely makes things a lot more easier and interesting to work with. By way of an introduction, my name is Kshama Dhir. I'm a partner with EY Global Delivery Services. Been with the firm almost for last 1.5 decades, and overall I have an experience of close to about 2.5 decades. Now that makes me sound very old, though I'm not that old, is what I'm wanting to believe, because you need to be young at heart. What I do as part of my profession is I am a finance professional. I'm a chartered accountant and an MBA in finance by way of qualification. But what I have been doing now almost for last 2 years is all about business transformation. It's all about you know making sure the businesses, they get the right set of upward and downward integrations. I am into mergers and acquisitions, so making sure we get the right suitors for the business when the business is up on the sale, or we find out good opportunities for our private equity and corporate clients to put their businesses on sale. Now, that sounds like a pretty boring topic for most of you who are coming from technology background, but let me tell you and assure you, it's not as boring as it sounds. It's not just about numbers. It's about playing with technology. It's about using technology to its utmost extent. We kind of try to, use technology to not only get into the deepest end of the data, but also look at how the sectors work, how the sector analysis and the sector deep dives work in those deals that we work on. So that's a bit about me professionally. Personally, I am based out of Delhi, NCR. I'm, interested besides work in a lot of social work. I'm engaged with few of the schools wherein we are looking at how do we give proper education to kids who come from underprivileged strata of the world. Equally, a health enthusiast, if I may call myself one, involved in running marathons and cycling. That's what I like, and some bit of hiking and trekking. So that's a bit about me. Why I was very keen on this event, and why this event particularly was of an interest to me, was we are trying to look into an area which is very unique. I think it has come up a long way in last couple of decades, but there is still some miles to go as we embark this journey, or as we have embarked this journey in past few decades. Women in STEM or in technology always interest me per se, and more so, as I started reading more of psychology and started understanding how women brains are very differently wired as compared to men brains, wherein we would be able to make sense of complex environment or make easy environment complex. Either ways, it doesn't make much of a difference. And then we look at, how women are making their way, their names in technology world. I think it's quite unique. It is quite interesting to see when we see within EY or couple of other big industry names that you would have, how women are really making a big change in the way we look at a business problem, applying technology to it, and looking into what the insights can be driven from the larger amount of data, what is the kind of efficiency we bring in, or even look at the different way of operating our own functions or our own operations. What is really interesting is within EY, we do encourage a lot of women coming in the STEM roles, or in our data and analytics, or in our technology consulting roles, etc., wherein we would have today, as we speak, almost 45% of our workforce in these roles come in from are females. Uh, Quite interestingly, I'm sure the number looks very similar in the broader industry as well. Having said that, one thing which is a cause of concern for us at an industry level, and I'm sure overall at an economy level as well is we see a lot more women coming up studying at a college level, school level. Most of the toppers in science and maths would be women, right? But when it comes to workforce, more so workforce at a mid level, that's where the numbers start decreasing. So when we hire, even when we go out and hire, at an entry level, we see, it's almost a 50-50% hiring that we do of men and women. But as we go forward, as the women, move up the ladder, or as a professional moves up the ladder, we see the numbers really declining. And that has always intrigued me. And whenever you do a double click on such situations, there are two key elements to it. One is, are women more open to upskilling and reskilling themselves, which our men colleagues are able to do a lot more. Now we can blame it to how the social structure has been, how the social stigmas work, or even how the social fabric overall works. I have hardly seen women very open to picking up newer study opportunities, newer degrees after a certain point in time of life, because they're bound by social obligations or family obligations. You have young kids, etc. I'm sure the trend is changing. Is it changing in a manner or at a pace that we would want to? The answer possibly might be no. We are getting there, but maybe at a slow pace. So that's the first piece that I wanted to pick up with all of you, especially for those of you who are interested in a career like this, that upskilling and reskilling is very critical for all of us as we go forward in our careers. More so specifically from a technology standpoint. Now, me being coming from finance, I also had to very deliberately look into upskilling and reskilling myself, because at every stage of our careers, and especially after every 5 to 7 years, philosophy says, we all change after every 7 years. So after every 5 to 7 years, we need to upskill and reskill ourselves. Are we open to picking up new certifications? Are we open to picking up new courses, new kind of technology? Are we investing ourselves into new kind of degrees? Or in a EY world, we do a very fantastic thing of using EY badges, which is badges of a particular technology, of a particular specialization or sectors. So some of those elements would be very critical, which I would definitely encourage all of you to look into as you start upskilling yourself, or think of upskilling yourself, because what these require is not necessarily a huge amount of financial commitment, but definitely a huge amount of time discipline. And while we all of us can say, we don't have enough time, we don't have enough time at hand over the weekend, because there are other responsibilities that we need to take care of. But let me tell you, all our good or the bad things will begin from us itself. All the change has to be me. It can't be from anybody else. Nobody else can come and tell you to change or not change the atmosphere, right? So that's one big thing that I would recommend all of you to focus on. And whenever we think of upskilling and reskilling, there is a second element which comes in, and I'm sure a lot of the participants here would have a similar kind of a question around what happens when women go on a career break. Now, this could be because of maternity, this could be because of change of city, or XYZ reasons. How do they come back? How do they come back to the workforce? I'm sure industry-wise, it's we've become a lot more flexible than it was. When I joined my career. Thankfully, I didn't have to take any break in my career so far. But what we have been looking at is, if women are taking career breaks, and if they were to come back, I think upskilling and reskilling continue to be an important element. It's equally important to find out the right companies where you would want to join in. Like in EY, we have programs for women who would want to come back after a career break. We would have flexible work environment. We would have work from home. You can work from anywhere across. So some of those flexibilities are there. I think being at EY, I definitely take a lot of pride in the kind of opportunities we give in EY. But I'm sure if we look at industry wide, it's very similar good industry practices. And one thing that I can tell you, being in the industry for long, it's very important for all of us to find the right atmosphere where we find we can kind of fly with whole open wings. We have people to support us. in EY we would have things like gender pay parity. We would make sure, I personally within my own team or overall EY, I've seen many women who would even get promotions to the next levels while they're on their maternity breaks. So I think some of those elements would come in as the industry is more opening up to more opportunities for women, looking at how we can build more. uh, these would be critical elements for us as we start thinking in terms of how do I make a difference in my career? How do I make sure I continue with my career or my professional aspirations in addition to balancing my personal situations as well? And I can tell you it's not an easy balance. I've gone through that. I'm a mother of a 17-year-old daughter. I know it's not an easy one, but believe me, it's not so difficult as we make it out also. We just need to raise our hand and say, these are the checks and balances we need to put in place. These are the things we will do, and these are the things we will not do. Life is all about a very fine balance that we need to maintain, just to make sure that we all find our end purpose of life, which I think for all of us would be very different. For me, it's just about being happy, and when I sleep at the end of the day, I need to sleep with no regrets and no threats in my mind. That's the only purpose with which I would look at my journey, and this includes my journey at work as well as personal journey. So, few key takeaways as I wrap up my commentary here. Be open, be very clear on what you need out of your work, out of your life in general. Try to make a fine balance between your personal and professional aspiration. But above all, do think about skilling and upskilling yourself at a regular interval, because that's what keeps you relevant in the market. I wish all of you have enjoyed your participation in this event, and feel free to reach out through social media or any other means if you have any further questions for me. Thank you and have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Ms. Kshama Dhir. Those were some absolute wise thoughts you shared with us.